There is a place where the lost embers go as their light begins to fade. Ember ran because standing still made them feel helpless. The wall glistened. The painting showed embers on a sacred journey. Ember felt so afraid and alone that it was a relief to find someone to talk to. Ember froze when they noticed a small satchel. The satchel felt heavy. The statue shone brightly in the light. There was a symbol on the floor. Ember noticed something wrong. There was a round space where something used to fit. To Ember's delight, the golden statue slid perfectly into place. Ember left, feeling sorry for the stranger. The stairway opened into a dark forest. Ember could feel fear taking over. They'd washed up alone, somewhere very unfamiliar. Ember felt like they were being watched. As Ember approached, the flame with a feeling like falling, the forest had slipped away. Ember felt lost in darkness and ruin. The caged flame stoked new hope in Ember. Hope was almost within reach. The flame spoke and Ember listened. The flame lingered ahead. Was it trying to escape? Or leading the way? The campfire flickered into life. The ghost spoke. I will warm them. Until they Ember looked to the ghost for answers. This is a place to travel through as you'll, but none have passed on. The Forest King now holds it, and those who linger will turn forlorn. Again that word, forlorn. The forlorn are those who lost their way. If you find them, send them to me and I will guide them. I am just a guide along. So many lost embers have I seen. More than Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost. Find them and I will guide them. Step backwards, little Ember. Look behind. Upon a small grassy cliff rests a forlorn. Barely visible through them, and on a small pier with barely a sound, a lonely fisherman sat. The travellers. I miss a good roast frog. Oh, how they crackle. The stranger had been forgotten. They tried to follow as best they could. But no one heard them when they fell behind. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. The traveler spoke. I miss a good roast frog. Oh, how they crackle. The stranger was trapped, caught in a maze. It was hard to make sense of this place. The stranger's voice was hoarse. I just need some time, I think, to see things clearly. The ember was... I'm headed for the... I've heard there's a nest there. A safe place. The fisherman murmured quietly between sorrowful breaths. The fisherman felt so useless. His former joys were hollow. Sitting out there every day by the pond, only the dark water to hear him talk. In that darkness, a glimmer flickered. A thought beating like a drum. A thought that went round and round. It all started with a frog. Every day by the pond, a constant reminder. For a brief moment he looked at Ember, hopeful. The fisherman spoke softly, saw him grow from a tadpole, spent every day side by side. So much better at fishing than me, catches him before I can... Oh, it makes me feel useless someday, the fisherman sighed. I've wasted so... The old man looked carefully at the pond. Well, listen, it helps though, telling someone. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. You saw the frog? You asked the frog. Actually, no, please don't tell the frog how much I talk about them. Poor little worms. But how do you fish? One for me, one for the fishes. Slurp 'em down. I chased old best days of my life. Had to use myself as bait. Stuck on me head ever since. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The frog stared at Embo, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed on. Was this the frog that the Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly? The old gate was locked. The crow held its shining trophy tight. The stranger. I've never felt that. What does it feel like? Is it nice? It sounds nice. The stranger shivered in the cold. They'd moved through such dark places. They lay down and closed their eyes. Warmth was a distant memory, stolen by the passing miles. The stranger blinked at Ember. Is it morning already? How long have I been asleep? The broken net hung ominously around the skeleton's neck. The door was sealed shut. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen. Take the path east of here, gaze into the pond. The frog knows of a lost forlorn." The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. The fisherman noticed the broken net Ember was carrying. "Let me have a look. See what I can do." With a silk thread, with each knot he tied, and here you go, good as new. The Ember. I'm headed for the crook. I've heard there's a nest there, a safe place. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed. Was this the frog? That Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly. Inside was a scrap of journal. The strangers on the water went on without me. Where have I landed? Vines and thorns stretch out to trip me. The worm looked helpless. As Ember picked it up, the worm let out a little yelp. The Wanderer's Diary. Unfamiliar trees, a path overgrown. Is this a resting place? A place between places? I call out, but mine is the only voice. They say catching, so I tell myself that a lot. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. This was not how Ember had the gurgling of water, a deafening heartbeat. But then... the frog returned Ember's good deed by leading them to a lost forlorn. The stranger stood alone. Their friends have fallen aside, retreating from what came next. The stranger had ventured on. Now they were deep in the woods. It felt so pointless. The stranger spoke hesitantly. The stranger spoke hesitantly. Is the campfire crowded? Let me gather myself. I'll see you there. Ember found the wanderer's diary. The oily smell of frogs. They know more than they will say. They watch me watching them. The strangers, there's a cook in the swamp. Keep telling them that it doesn't taste right. They'll keep giving you more. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." Some way to the east, above where the stone frogs meet, a forlorn hides. The traveler said, "Friend, you need go see the builder in the caves. Tell them I'm sorry I never came back." The stranger had blazed their own path, created their own rock, their own islands. They did not need Ember's kindness. But still, Ember stayed. Building a bridge should it ever be needed. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." West of here, a cruel stone compound. Locked away without a key, an Ember turned forlorn. Key was but it was just out of reach. The old gate was locked. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. The stranger gasped for breath. Dark water slipping above their head. The sea didn't care if they sank or swam. Slowly the tides ebbed, washing over old walls. A safe harbor emerging from the inky depths. Ember reached out a hand. The stranger looked down. The ground feels good beneath my feet, friend. The ghost said, "You have done all you can, little one. The path to I will guide others to follow after you clear the way." There are others like me who can. You will always be welcome here in the forest. Once again, Ember could feel eyes watching. Ember approached the forlorn. They said, I don't want to. Ember could not help. Not all problems were puzzles to be solved. The guard joked, And with the bag licking on, both guards started looking at Ember with it. The guard leered. Yes, come a little closer. Let us see what we guard the door. Oh yes, we decide who gets to see the king. The forest king. Yes, yes, come this way. A feeling of foreboding overcame Ember. Ember was terrified but tried not to show it. The giant bird spoke. Do not fear. The bird is Ember wanted to feel safe. Oh, little Ember, birds will take and stay safe in the nest. Ember was still afraid. Is it the night that scares you, little one? See, birds will make the world less frightened. It wasn't only the night that frightened Ember. The bird was disappointed. Hope is false. Hope herds look. The forest king. Perhaps they could rest here. It was hard to know what else to say. Clever little, you will stay. Search for hope no more. Now take this feather. Feather means birds keep little. Birds should never leave the nest. The guard seemed pleased. I can hold that back. Leave him alone. Yeah, one of us. And we all shares bags and things. Back again. We'll be watching you. The travelers had a campfire remained. Bear tracks lay in the cinders. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any closer. Nothing down there but go see the forest king. He'll set you straight. Got your first. Stand watch here. Promise you won't let anyone pass. The stranger. But friend, those birds are really just embers, dressed up. The crossroads gate was locked. Ember uncovered a journal entry. Dusk brings the longest shadows. The lanthorn comforts me. Soft melodies from home. The wild things listen, yellow eyes in graying trees.